My name is Zoe Joy, and welcome to the Music to My Ears channel. This is the Secret Life of a Creative series. I started this series to get real about what's going on in the creative community and the lives of creatives. And I wanted to talk about something that's very close to my heart. And honestly, I don't really know where this video is going to go, but this is why this is Secret Life of a Creative. We get real around here. We're gonna get free, let your hair down, let your titties fly, whatever you need to do. I wanted to talk about disappointment because I feel like it's something that a lot of creatives experience. I say that being a creative, especially when you're putting yourself out there, is already difficult and already hard. To put yourself in a position to be judged with something that's very vulnerable and close to you. And that is your essence, your vibe, and what you want to put out into the world, your work. I run a boutique called Music to My Ears, and it's hard, man. I'm not even gonna lie, it's hard, but it's worth it. Obviously, when we put ourselves out there, we want a certain result to come out of what we do, and that result is normally success, approval, likes. Let's be real. But sometimes when we don't get that, it's hard and it hurts. But especially when you're an artist or, a designer, and, you literally make a living off of what you're creating, the stakes in what you're putting out there, it goes up, it's a lot bigger than just, hey, like me, think I'm a cool person, approve of me. And I think when things fail or you experience disappointment, you really have to remember at the end of the day that when you're chasing after your dreams or when you're putting yourself out there creatively, you almost have to reevaluate your values. And everything can't just be about the end result. And anytime I do experience disappointment or something doesn't sell, something doesn't, because let's be honest, we creatives gotta eat, okay? The whole bohemian thing, how bohemians are like, I used to so subscribe to that, but like, how like bohemians, like they're just like creatives and it's okay to, not make money just as long as you're creative. We creatives, we have to eat food. Food be expensive. So I understand 100% that support and sales or whatever is important. But at the end of the day, so is your happiness, so is your joy, so is your heart. And I almost feel like from like a law of attraction perspective, if we changed our hearts toward what we're doing and just the creative process within itself was enough, without the money, without what comes after, I feel like we're gonna more so attract good, and we're gonna attract abundance, because what you're putting like joy into what you're doing. It's not just let me just make this thing to make money. It's like, no, you're literally making it from the joy of making it. For instance, I'll use myself as an example. If I made something and I put it out there, and obviously if you're making something as a creative, the hope is that someone buys it, the hope is that someone likes it, and no one buys it, no one likes it, it gets no views, nothing happens. I've definitely experienced that like sinking feeling. It's just such a beautiful exchange when you're making something with your bare hands and then someone buys it and wears it and hangs it up in their house, whatever it may be, that you can just say, wow, I made that thing, and now that thing is being worn somewhere in the world, and that thing that I made is in someone's house and they enjoy it every day. It's a really beautiful experience. But it's also, it can, on the flip side, if it doesn't work out that way, it can be a sinking feeling like, wow, I failed. I'm being very vulnerable here, But I also want us to be honest with ourselves and say, like, we all kind of feel this way. If you're putting yourself out there, you're lining yourself up essentially for disappointment, because not everyone's gonna like what we do, not everyone's gonna support what we do, and sometimes there will be hits and misses. But I say all that to say, at the end of the day, just the experience of creating something kind of has to be enough. And that's kind of where we have to like align our hearts. Like, wow, I made that thing, I'm proud of it. If it doesn't sell, if it doesn't get a lot of views, if it doesn't get a lot of likes on Instagram, that doesn't make me a failure, and I'm proud of it. And I'm happy that I got to make that. And I want to see a world where literally just the experience of creating within itself is winning. Now, mind you, obviously, when you have a business or you're an influencer, likes and recognition, like, that's important. If you're a business and you're not making any sales, 100%, like, it's not really a business. You know, you need to make sales for a business. But I'm saying, from a heart perspective, from like an emotional inner self-love, like emotional health perspective, the creativity that we put out there within itself, what if that was enough, regardless of the result, regardless of what people thought of it? This whole thought process for me came when I made a treble clef light decal. Treble clefs are like special to me because the first time I ever shaped a treble clef out of wire, that's literally how Music to My Ears got its name. I'll tell the story one day, but making this treble clef brought up a lot for me because through the years that I've been running Music to My Ears, I've definitely experienced a lot of disappointment. And I don't know, there was just this weird like transcendent moment that happened as I'm just like shaping this thing out of wire and just remembering all the things that didn't sell, all the things that didn't work out. And even my future dreams and goals for Music to My Ears and everything I want it to become and be, I had to like really be present with the moment and say, regardless of what happens with what I'm making right now, regardless if it sells out and it has like a lot of people that love it, or you know, it gets a lot of likes on Instagram, regardless of any of that, in this moment I am elated to be making this. This is such a beautiful moment and a beautiful experience to just be making this and just be present with this, just be playing my music and making this little decal. The way my brain works when I'm making something, I'll just kind of have a dream of it being real. Like imagine like a director wanting to create a movie. Like you see it in your mind, you see the movie playing out, and then you get that moment where you're sitting in a theater and it's playing out before you and you're like, wow, that was all in my head. It's kind of like that. Like I'll just see, you know, a piece of jewelry or clothing or home decor, and I'll see it in my mind and it's like, wow, that would be so cool. I'll draw it out, sketch it, write it down, and then one day I make it and it's like, it's real and it's tangible and I'm holding it in my hands. Like that moment right there, that is just such a dream for me. I think especially when you are making a living off of what you're creating, it's hard to kind of see it this way, but just me in this moment making what I'm making is so beautiful. And the fact that if someone does buy this, or if someone does like listen to this video or whatever, the fact that they're going to enjoy and they're going to be able to experience something positive from something that I made, it's that much, you appreciate it that much more, because it's so much less of like, oh, will they please like it? It's just a heart switch. I feel like I've been rambling a whole entire lot, but at the end of the day, with whatever you make, with whatever you do, whether you're a YouTuber or a dancer, an artist, a musician, whatever you do, just doing what you do is enough, and it's beautiful and it's amazing. and you're so dope for doing it and following through and just being you and putting out there what you do. I'm like so poetic today. But anyway, I know that in our culture, fame, recognition, likes can be a huge goal, or it can be huge motivation. And sometimes we can get lost in that motivation. Sometimes you don't even enjoy the creative process because it's like, oh, you're just so focused on the end result. So I say all that to say, I feel like if we really just enjoy the creative process again, and we're a little bit less of a society that cares so much about what people think about what we do, then we won't experience as much disappointment at the end of the day. And what you often see is that people have these goals and dreams to be famous or to be successful, and then they get it and they wonder why they're unhappy. Were you really enjoying the process of making and creating within itself, and that was the thing driving you and making you happy? Or were you literally just caring about the likes, the support, the fame that you didn't get, the money, the accolades? Was that the only thing driving you? And so I would like to pose a question. What would happen if we stopped paying attention to the end result of things and we just be, we just create? Thank you guys so much for letting me rant. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think about our culture when it comes to likes and support and caring what people think? Tell me what you do. Tell me who you are. Let me know that I'm not alone in this conversation. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me in this Secret Life of a Creative video. I really want these videos to be a very honest, vulnerable time where we can really just have real, true, honest conversations. And that's definitely what I did today. Comment down below some future Secret Life of a Creative videos you may want me to make, topics you may want me to talk about. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.